Okay, hello, welcome to this winter storm update. I'm going to mainly talk about the snowfall amounts and go a little bit in the long range. I think I'm going to cover more of that tomorrow night because we have a lot to talk about with the storm. We're going to first go over the radar right now. It's finally wrapping up. We had an extended period of mixed precipitation, some light snow, but it's finally moving away tonight. But it is treacherous out there. The roads are well plowed, are icy and very slippery, and because of that sleet that we had, especially in Nassau, some areas had more sleet than others. So let's first go to the Weather Service here. We'll go over their list of the latest snowfall amounts. Then I'll have a map to review to show for you as well. Over a foot in parts of Fairfield County, Bridgeport Airport, 14.5 inches. So they really got hit hard. Parts of Connecticut, there around a foot. 13 inches in Cromwell, 13 inches in Wellingford. So you have that around that foot mark over there. And that goes into Bergen County, too. These are the hardest hit areas, places like Mahwah, where they got 14.5 inches of snow. And then as you make your way into central New Jersey, around Newark, it's 11 inches. And then for New York City, the Bronx, 13.5 inches. Again, that's about right for that area further inland. They didn't mix it all. We go into Brooklyn, however, the numbers are a little bit lower. Williamsburg got 11.3 inches. Some of those other numbers are way too early in the day. And then we have other numbers here. Glen Cove, a foot, 12.1 inches. Syosset, 11.3 inches. East Williston, 10.4 inches. Which is pretty close to Mineola, so we probably got about 10 inches here probably. That was at 6:57, so yeah, most of the snow was, the heavier snow was Central Park, 10.6 inches. And all these, by the way, snowfall records were set for the day, by the way. Orange County also over a foot there. In Queens, 10.5 inches. In Belrose, JFK got 9.5 inches. So a little less toward the South Shore, 9.4 at LaGuardia. Surprisingly, that's the same amount there. And Rockland County also got 14.2 inches. Staten Island, almost a foot in Westerly. Some high elevation areas in Staten Island, by the way. Suffolk County, the North Shore of Suffolk County, and also surprisingly, Islip. 13.5 inches in Setauket. Islip made it to a foot, 12.1 inches. That I was not expecting. Well, I did have it in my map, so the potential for a foot was still there. Track was a little further south than the NAM was indicating. Central Islip, 11.5 inches. Hampton Bay is 11 inches. Deer Park, 10.2 inches. So it goes a little bit down as you head further to the south. Riverhead, 9.4 inches. That was taken, though, at 3:52. Upton, 9.2 inches. That was taken at 7. Sayville, 8.7. So that was taken at 7. East Islip, 8.2, but that was taken at 3:26. And in Westchester County, around a foot there as well. 13 inches in Peekskill, and then a little less as you make your way further south, 11 inches in Bronxville. So let's go to the map now. Got our map here we can look at, which I kind of like better. This is our map, kind of shows you what we have here. So it was an 8.8 reading. That was 202, though. I have a feeling that's a little higher. 10.4, and then we've got the 12.1 in Glen Cove, 11.5 in Locust Valley, 15.3 in Center Island. That was taken at 9:30, so it could be closer to 15 inches in some parts of the North Shore of Nassau County. Perhaps that area is probably going to be having the highest snow amounts across all Long Island. And then 8.3 at JFK, that was taken at 4. And then as you get to the South Shore, the numbers are a little lower. There's the 12.1 at Islip, 8.2 at Coram, that was at 3:55. 8.5, that was taken at 3:30 around Ridge. Probably got a little more than that. 8.9, that was taken at 3 o'clock in Middle Island. Wish this would update a little more. 12 inches reported at Mattituck at 4:15. 11.5 at Shinnecock Hills. 11.2 at Sag Harbor. So yeah, a little bit further south than I originally thought the rain snow line would get. A little bit, but fairly close, I would say. And we'll have to wait for some more of these other numbers to come. But I think a lot of areas on Long Island got double-digit snowfalls from this. And, of course, the highest snowfalls north and west. And then as we go south, the numbers do come down, but not tremendously. Toms River got around 9 inches of snow, so they're probably not going to make it to double digits. 8 inches in Bayville, 9 inches in Forked River. And these numbers were taken earlier, so I don't know. We'll have to see about that. 4 inches at 8:26 a.m. These are old observations. Geez, anything more current? Atlantic City Airport, 6.2. So, yeah, the lesser amounts were pushed a little more to the south and the east. The rain and the warmer air didn't make it quite as far in as some of the other models are saying, but still fairly close. I was a little bit off over here. Very hard to forecast this particular type of storm because it was an overrunning event turning into a coastal storm. But I think we did fairly well, except for maybe the extreme Jersey Shore areas with forecasting. Biggest snowfall we've seen in a while. And we do have some record event reports as a result. Let's see if they put them up here or not. They have not, so let's see. We do have records at all of our sites. Islip had a record of 11.2 inches for the day. This is for the day. This breaks the old record of 3 inches set in 2000. So for some reason on today, we never really had a big storm on this date here. So records go back to 1963. So a big storm, a long overdue for a big storm. JFK as well. All the sites had record reports. 8.3 was a record at JFK. It breaks the old record of 6.2 set in 2000 as well. And the records there date back to 1948. So for some reason today is an unusual day to get a big snowstorm, even though we are in the middle of January. These are all. So we'll go look at the climatological reports. Obviously, high. This was set at 22. So the out east it was actually stayed colder. Low was 12 this morning at 9:13. So it was a powdery snow. There's your snowfall record of 11.2 inches. That is definitely a remarkable amount here. And precipitation liquid equivalent, they're saying 0.77 inches of liquid today fell. So this will also help the dry situation that's been going on. So looks like they still got us under the winter storm warning, even though it's departing because the conditions are still kind of dangerous out there. The winter storm warning does continue until 1 p.m. on Monday, apparently. So they're continuing it. That's for the Hudson Valley. Let's find. They still have it till 1 p.m. So they're still because of the icy conditions and the very cold temperatures out there. So you can see the temperature is 21 at Islip, and it only got up to 29. So that's why I'm looking at this. So it did rise this evening. Look at the temperature drop. Look at how fast it went down. It was 28, and then it went down to 21 in a matter of 20 minutes. That is very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. Really, really, really impressive to see that. And you can see the conditions throughout the day. Mostly teens during the day when it was snowing. So that makes for a powdery snow. We were getting whiteouts. So the snow just lasted a long time. We had snow for, let's see, still says light snow is falling, but we've had snow for a good, started around 6 this morning. So we've had snow for at least 12 hours. At least snowing for over 12 hours. So, yeah, long duration storm. And yeah, actually, I want to just look at that for a minute. Let me show you that graphic on that temperature graph. Yeah, take a look at that drop there at the end. That is something that experienced a drop like that. I wonder if Farmingdale got it too. 23, they got up to 27. So the colder air is wrapping back in again. So yeah, you could see how cold it was during the day. And they had reported heavy snow for at least, looks like early afternoon hours, heavy snow. Very cold out there. So, very cold, very, very cold. And look at that, gusts to 40. And we've seen some gusts up to 40 by the water and stuff. Toms River is now back down to 24 at Ocean County Airport. So let's go look at the highs for the day, high temperatures for the day. And that's, that's right, it's after midnight now, so it's not going to display it. Oh, that's right. Because I wanted to wait till as late as I could to get the. All right, we'll just have to go and look at the. I believe it got to the mid-30s there. So let's see. It got into the mid-30s there. So it got a little bit warmer, mid-30s there. And they had some plain rain, it looks like. So they got into some. They had a changer over there, but not in our area. Not at all. Yeah, it's too. It's annoying when they do this. They change this since midnight. If I could, I'd have to change. Let me go to historical. Maybe I could change it. It'll show it maybe. No. Hold on. All right, let's see. Valid for Sunday. All right, let's see. I gotta change the time. Let me. PM maybe. PM. Let's see if this will work. No. Yeah, this is the problem. I came on too late to show what the high temperatures were. Oh, here we go. Finally. All right, so we got up to the mid-30s here. Yeah, in this area, it got to the mid-30s. So, yeah, Coastal Ocean County. That's the only area that made it above freezing today. That's it. And we'll go ahead and look at the lows. And we had probably lows in teens. Takes a little bit of time to get this information onto the screen, but come on. Yeah, lows are in the teens. No radiational cooling. It did get down to 10, though, at Brookhaven. 12 at Islip, and a little warmer over Ocean County, 16. But still, very remarkable situation for the storms, for the storm. So let's talk about its effects on everything. And we're going to first start with the Long Island Railroad, which is going to be running a weekend schedule. Now, no service from Ronkonkoma Greenport, reduced service today. I'm surprised they kept trains running, and now because of that, Monday they will be running on a weekend schedule, probably because there's been a lot of trains that have gotten disabled and switch problems. They should not have been attempting to run service, and now if you take the Long Island Railroad, expect it to be a bad week. That's all I can say. Expect it to be a bad week. Try to, take the week off if you can, because I think the railroad is going to take at least a couple of days to get back to normal. Tomorrow they're only running a weekend schedule, all right? Nice Bus is not running at all. No timeline has been given to restoration of service at this point, but again, the service is suspended starting at 3 p.m., and for Monday they're assessing road conditions. So expect a slow start to service, probably around 10 a.m., because that's what Suffolk County Transit is doing as well. So they're going to be starting service around 10 a.m. for tomorrow. If you do have to travel, allow extra time, because it's going to be a mess tomorrow. It's going to be a mess. And NJ Transit also now. MTA, we go to the MTA site, of course. New York City Transit, of course, has been trying to run regular service, and they're probably going to have regular service, especially the subways, because they're mostly underground, though there are some parts that are above ground. Buses are probably going to have delays. And like I said, this is what we got. Weekend schedule now for all the things. So weekend schedule. And we see delays still delays. Main line is having a lot of problems. Look at this. This train's 55 minutes late. I'm sure the Babylon branch will be running okay tomorrow because it's elevated, and that's usually less prone to problems with the weather. So they are having a lot of problems. If you take the main line, really, this whole week, try to use the Babylon branch if you can. I think it's going to be a mess. This cold weather is not going to help any, for sure. This is a time when they need to lift all the parking restrictions at all these parking lots because of what's going on. But we'll see what happens. You got delays on the Montauk branch, too. There was police activity over there. Hempstead has some delays. Switch trouble near Elmont UBS Arena. Port Jefferson's got cancellations. 10:59 is canceled, and the 11:52 is canceled, and the 12:53 is canceled. All westbound trains from Huntington. So they're running hourly service at that point, and then eastbound 10:59 train from Penn Station Huntington canceled. So they have one Huntington train canceled there. Long Beach is weekend. South Shore is just fine. All the problems seem to be North Shore, middle of the island. No surprise there. 12:40 train from Port Washington to Penn Station has been canceled. And then they're also reduced service they're running an enhanced weekend schedule on Metro North. So they're not using those storm schedules that are posted on the website at all. If you go to the website, you'll see they're not running these at all. So this is sometimes what they run, but they're not. They're not running. They're just running a regular week because there's been so many trains out of service. So that is what's going on with the Long Island Railroad. NJ Transit still shut down as well. They're going to be making an announcement on service restoration tomorrow in the morning, probably. So they did the smart thing by shutting the trains down and therefore hopefully reducing the damage to this system. Unfortunately, Jan Oliva was being arrogant and saying, you know what he said. So we will run trains. And what an arrogant jerk he is, I'm telling you. You don't do that with Mother Nature. You don't mess with Mother Nature. But hey, things could be worse. You could be dealing with JCP&L, where a substation fire. Of course, none of the stations covered this. None of the TV stations covered this. Substation fire knocks out power to hundreds in Bricks and Toms River. A fire at a substation in the northern barrier island in Ocean County knocked out power to more than 6,000 homes in the area on Sunday. The substation caught fire shortly after 2 p.m., knocking out power to homes and businesses from Mantoloking and Brick south through Lavalette and Toms River, according to JCP&L. So, and more than 3,000 homes and businesses remain without electricity as of 4:15 p.m. And there were just over 1,300 homes in Brick, 235 in Mantoloking, 244 in Lavalette, and just 1,300 in Toms River that remain without electrical service. Ridiculous. So, if we go to the PSEG Long Island outage map, we don't hardly have any power outages at all here. 6 outages and only 75 customers in all of Long Island. And you compare that, again, to what Jersey Central Power and Light is. It's pretty bad, I'll tell you that right now. So, let's go and talk a little more about the weather here. Let's go to the satellite image here. And just cover what's going to be happening for this week. And I'll be back tomorrow night to cover more of the long range. Here's your storm. There's that river of moisture. Follow that river all the way from the Pacific, all the way across the Gulf, all the way up the East Coast. And that is what we dealt with today. I can run this. We're going to take a nice long loop. Take a look at that. Look at that moisture. So all that moisture is coming up, overrunning the Arctic air, and giving us this major winter storm, one we haven't seen in a long, long time. So let's just look at the models here briefly, show you what's going on. Our storm departs. Go to look at the European here. Our storm departs. There may be a little bit of wraparound, a little bit tomorrow overnight that might give another dusting to an inch. But the key here is that Arctic high, another Arctic high comes in, and we're just continued in this Arctic airflow all week long. And that is going to keep the cold air in place. And then we have to watch this for next weekend, perhaps another storm. The European is showing it. Let's see if the GFS is showing it. GFS is kind of showing it as well, and it's bringing it closer in. So we'll have to watch and see if we can get some more snow, perhaps next weekend, from this storm, this other storm coming. We're still remaining in that Arctic air pattern. This storm looks like it's not going to have any issues with mixing or changing over, unlike this particular storm. So it will be hopefully an easier storm to forecast. But other than that, we remain kind of cold, and that is all due to we have going on with the jet stream and the upper air pattern, which just show you on the European here. There's a block in Greenland, and that cold air just keeps on coming. So that's going to keep things cold, going to keep things below normal, and look at our temperature anomaly chart. You'll see that. And again, I'll go over this a little more in detail tomorrow night. You can see the cold air. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit milder, but then here comes more Arctic air again for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Expect all the bays to freeze, the rivers to freeze. We haven't seen a deep freeze like this in a very long time. So let's go to the HRRR now, and we will go ahead and look at the HRRR model. And you'll see that there will be some light snow perhaps that might wrap around Suffolk County that might put another coating to it, maybe an inch. And then after that, we have windy conditions on Tuesday. Windy conditions start tomorrow night, and then Tuesday, the winds maybe lighten a little bit. We'll look at our dew points and wind flow here because you'll see tomorrow dew points aren't quite as low. We have northwest winds, but then watch what happens tomorrow night. Yeah, the Arctic air comes back with a vengeance. Tomorrow night, dew points drop below 0, and here we are dealing with Arctic air again on Tuesday with northwest winds. So go here and look at tomorrow's high, and I don't think we make it above freezing tomorrow. We might get to 30. The temperatures drop a little tonight, I think, again dropping into the 20s, and then tomorrow night we are dropping into the single digits probably by Tuesday morning, perhaps close to 0 up to the north and the west, and then Tuesday probably not going to get out of the teens. Probably it's going to be pretty cold. And then we look beyond that on the European model here, and you'll see that we have the cold air in place all week. Here we are, Tuesday, Thursday, and then Friday morning. We may go below 0 Friday morning, and then Friday we're struggling to reach the teens. Friday looks like the coldest day of them all right now. Let's go and look at the skies. All right, so here's the skies for tomorrow. Clouds, maybe a few breaks of sun toward the afternoon, clearing up at night. And then for Tuesday, we may start with sunshine and then more clouds building toward the afternoon, it looks like. And then Wednesday, it looks like we'll have sun and then maybe some increasing higher clouds later on. But I'd love to get to the Pines, but it's not going to be easy. We'll have to see about that. But that's all I got for you tonight. Tomorrow we will be back with the more extended range and updated snowfall totals. And what a storm it's been. We finally are getting payback for getting no winter for the past basically 3 years. Well, now winter is throwing all it's got at us for the next at least 7 to 10 days. Anyway, have a good night.